For Nepean to give his inaugural speech.
Thank you, Speaker. I rise today with the honour of delivering my first speech to this, the 60th Parliament of Victoria, proudly representing the district and constituents of Nepean. It is an incredible privilege to be elected to this place representing my community. The southern Mornington Peninsula is a unique and special part of our great state. Sandwiched between Bass Strait, Western Port Bay and Port Phillip, it is an incredible part of the world. Sand beaches on the bayside, surf beaches on another, as well as rolling hills filled with vineyards and orchards in between. Quite amazing for so-called metropolitan Melbourne. I've asked myself numerous times in preparation for this moment how I ended up here as a member of the Victorian Parliament. Born in Narrandera, a small town in the Riverina, and growing up as the eldest of 3 children to my parents Philip and Melinda, I had dreams to play footy for the Swans or play on the hallowed turf of the centre court at Wimbledon. We had a modest upbringing, my dad working 6 days a week to try and give his family a better life. But never as a kid riding his bike to school in Corowa or to the local tennis courts or football ground at John Ford Park did I ever dream or envisage that I would be sitting as an elected member of this chamber. My family always made plenty of sacrifices for me to be able to travel and play tennis as a junior, and I know looking back it was a stretch for them, but I am forever grateful for that opportunity. And I worked hard every day to make sure that that sacrifice wasn't for nothing. It is that work ethic and mentality that I bring to this place as well. These first 35 years of my life have seen many a career change. Moving to London at just 17, a year after my parents moved our family from Albury to Templestowe, tennis was my passion. I was lucky enough to be a member of the Victorian Institute of Sport and later the Australian Institute of Sport. As a 17-year-old boy from the country, away from home in a foreign land, you grow up quick. At 21, I played my first Australian Open singles and thought I knew it all. But 2.5 years later, I was playing suburban footy at Vermont in Melbourne's eastern suburbs. After a year away and meeting my now wife Britt, I went back to tennis. And eventually, I did walk onto that centre court at Wimbledon, as well as the biggest stadiums my sport had to offer. I proudly represented Australia, just the 105th man to play Davis Cup for this country, and became an Olympian at Rio in 2016. But at 30, that career was over, and so I moved into the media. Tennis commentary, of course, was the natural move, but what followed, hosting a travel show and writing opinion, all became part of the package. I thought, this is me, set for the future, commentating Grand Slam finals, and helping showcase the very best our state has to offer. I remember when all that changed on March 13th, 2020. I was an ambassador for the 2020 F1 Australian Grand Prix. My brother was getting married on the Friday. We'd taken a day away from the track for a round of golf before the ceremony, and I received a call that the event was being cancelled because of the coronavirus. A year later, and after numerous lockdowns, I made the call. How do I help make a change? I joined the Liberal Party, contested pre-selection for the district of Nepean, and now I stand here as the MP for my community. And while the change in government I had hoped for would come a few weeks ago did not, I'm here with a voice for the future of this state and for our party. With 4 years ahead of me representing Nepean, the state, but also the Liberal Party, my mind turns to what the future may hold. For Nepean, I'm committed to being the best local member possible. I made the move to the Mornington Peninsula with my wife Britt and our twins to give them the best start possible to life in a supportive community built on our mutual love for the unique environment and lifestyle. However, over the last 8 years, Nepean has been neglected by the Labor government, deprived of critical investment into facilities, services and infrastructure that we need to sustain our thriving communities. The Southern Peninsula is a global tourist destination and one of Victoria's ecological jewels. Despite this, it has been forced to cope with a lack of health and transport opportunities. Nepean deserves its fair share of services and investment from the Victorian community, and I look forward to being a vocal, active and effective voice for my electorate in Parliament. I consistently campaigned for vital infrastructure, including the Rosebud Hospital and Jetty Road overpass throughout the election period, and I'll continue this campaign as the local member. Because the work of an MP should be focused on providing the best outcomes for the local community, which has put its faith in me to advocate and deliver every day in service to them. The Mornington Peninsula is unique, and I am dedicated to preserving and protecting it from overdevelopment and environmental degradation. I will work hard to ensure the peninsula way of life is upheld and that government legislation is scrutinised for its impact on our local area. For the state of Victoria, I will be an active and involved member of the Victorian opposition, working alongside our leader and shadow cabinet to ensure that we put forward a constructive and positive plan for the future of Victoria. Following the re-election of the current government for its third term, it is more important than ever for Victoria to have an opposition of united focus to ensure that accountability, transparency and integrity is upheld. In the Liberal Party, we are faced with a choice. Having only held government for 4 of the last 22 years, to rebuild for the future or continue offering more of the same. This election, again, the Victorian electorate sent us a clear message. When my Liberal predecessor, the Honourable Martin Dixon, rose to deliver his first speech in 1996, he reflected on the Kennett government's success and how the Liberal Party would be determined to listen to the people, to learn, to change and evaluate its vision. This is the sentiment we must now refocus on for the next 4 years. Victorians expect a Liberal Party that represents the contemporary values of Victoria and reflects the diverse and modern community we are proud to have in this state. Clearly, we did not satisfy this expectation, and that is something we must take meaningful and substantial steps towards changing and correcting. It is vital that we connect with our mainstream community through a fundamental re-evaluation of our platform while maintaining our core Liberal values on which the party has seen so much success in the past. There will be arguments after this election about whether we need to move right or left, but the reality is we need to move forward. And Victorian voters have made it clear that they will only accept a true Liberal Party representing a fiscally conservative and socially moderate agenda, a 21st century party for a modernised and cosmopolitan state. That is something I will work tirelessly to deliver for the Victorian electorate. I will always be enormously grateful to the Nepean constituents for supporting me to be their local member, but I would not be here without the support of a number of people in particular. Firstly, to my parents, Philip and Melinda, and my brother and sister, Oliver and Sophie, and my in-laws, Mitch, Trish and Jacinta. To my campaign manager, Edward, and electorate chairman, Brian, as well as Rob, Anthea, Gail, Brian and Marshall from my campaign team. I want to thank everyone who volunteered, giving up time to open the office, stand at shopping centres and markets, to man the booths at pre-poll and on election day. I wouldn't be here without all the hard work you all put in. And thank you to all the donors who contributed to the campaign. To my friend and federal member for Flinders, Zoe McKenzie, I look forward to working alongside you to deliver the best outcomes for our Mornington Peninsula. To the Liberal Party members in Nepean for putting their trust in me as the candidate, and to the people of Nepean for electing me to represent them. I thank the members that I am now honoured to sit here beside and across from, knowing now the dedication and sacrifice it takes to sit in this place. Thank you to those that I've worked with over the last 5 years in the media, especially Emily, Ben and Brent, and to the former member for Nepean, Martin Dixon, for his knowledge and always sound advice. I want to thank my 2 close friends and mentors, Josh Frydenberg for his political guidance over the last 2 years, and to Todd Woodbridge, both in my tennis days, but especially the last 5 years working alongside me and always being a guiding hand. And most importantly, to my wife Britt, you have always been the most amazing sport to me no matter what I do. and somehow never once questioned why I would take on this journey. I'm doing this for the future of this state, so that our twins, Mason and Parker, have the best opportunity in life. This is going to be different for our family, but I know you will be there with me every step of the way. Britt, I love you. So now, as I prepare for my first Australian summer without tennis for more than 2 decades, I look forward to be able to serve again, albeit in a different way. I thank the House for its indulgence.